Smacking Out the Podcast's college football wrap-up is brought to you by Doyle Hardgrave Construction, and also by $8 a month auto insurance.
Less than $100 a year, but we still got you covered.
And now, Smacking Off's college football wrap-up with your host, Shannon Madden.
And welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. Doug, what's up?
Football.
Did you watch some football yesterday?
I did.
I did too. A little bit.
I did. No big
not nearly as much as the week before.
No big upsets, but we were close.
Yeah, we got one we're definitely probably going to devote a good portion of the show to, because it really was the only game that really, I don't know, gave us any kind of window as to what could possibly happen later on down the stretch, and that was with our dear friends over in Clemson. Dabo had a very close one against Mac Brown, 21-20, in a game that nobody expected was going to be close.
Did you watch the game?
Watched bits and pieces of it, down the stretch.
Did you see what happened at the end?
I saw that. That right there was probably the most important play of the game, which was the decision to go for 2 points instead of an extra point and send a game in overtime.
I think that, UNC don't have the players that Clemson does, depth-wise, so he probably felt like if we don't win this here, we're not going to win in overtime.
Yeah, that's true, and he's going to catch a little bit of slack about it, but hell, you got to give the guy some credit to play that Clemson squad that close was it was rather impressive.
I thought so.
But is this Clemson squad all of that in a bag of fries like we have thought the whole entire season?
I don't know.
Yeah, there is that.
They've had their moments every year they've made the playoffs. They've had their moments that look like maybe they wasn't that good, and they've ended up being good enough to make the playoffs every time.
We talked about this in group a little bit today, and that the last year is a great example of that. Last year they didn't really look too terribly impressive. They kind of, I don't know, just kind of rolled through the season, kind of like they're doing this year, and nothing too dramatic or major happening, and everybody shrugging their shoulders, saying, "Yeah, this is going to be like Clemson." What was it? The Clemson team the year before, the one that got knocked out early in the playoffs. Or was that the year before that? I don't
You talking about the one that Bama beat like 24-3?
Yeah, it's happened. That matchup's happened so often lately. It's easy to get them confused.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks thought it was going to be just that kind of situation, and of course, as we remember in last year's national championship, well, we're not going to talk about that. They were a completely different team. Clemson team came out with the same exact personnel and dismantled the Alabama team last year that was kind of in Clemson's position this year.
Yep.
Everybody, they're going to win every single bit of it and steamroll right into the playoffs, which they exactly did, and then hit a wall with Clemson. So, I don't know. That's definitely going to keep the rest of the nation looking closely, or looking even more closely at Clemson, expecting some kind of trip up or slip up somewhere along the way. I guess chief among that is Trevor Lawrence's production has not been as advertised. He was pretty much a possible Heisman frontrunner right out of the gate this season, and has quickly fallen from those. From that list.
Turnovers.
Yeah. You want to talk about this guy for a minute?
Let's do it.
Yeah, the Pack. That there was some quiet chatter that possibly that Washington State could be a contender in the Pack, and could possibly crazier things have happened. Possibly wind up in a postseason situation that would be favorable for them. However, they kind of laid down and took a 25-point beatdown by the Utes yesterday.
Well, apparently they're fat, dumb, happy. See, dumb and happy do go together pretty well.
Dumb and happy usually are.
And entitled.
Yeah.
So Leach he's just trying to catch a headline, and he did.
But at the same time, that was a 25-point beatdown in a game that they were expected to at least stay in.
A lot of people thought they would win. I didn't. I never did. I thought they're at Utah. Utah's gonna be angry. I didn't ever think they would win this game, but
I picked them. That was a pick'em game, was it not? Yeah,
I don't remember.
I picked Washington State to actually pull the upset on this one because that game was at
No, I had the Utes on that one, but
No, that's kind of how that worked out. If you can, go back and look at that post-game interview with Mike Leach because it's pretty entertaining. It really is. It's not the usual thing. We're both Bama fans, and it's not the usual hellfire and brimstone that we see after a disappointing game with Alabama. This is just it's Mike Leach being Mike Leach, and basically chewing his team's ass in the most softest, quietest way possible.
Yep.
It's beautiful. It really is.
While we're in the pack,
Speaking of the pack,
let's just go ahead and stay here for a minute.
I was actually expecting Cal to win this game. The Sun Devils came and they conquered.
That is the second time that the Sun Devils have went on the road and beaten a top 25 team.
Yeah.
So.
And Cal was a decent team. Of
course, the Sun Devils lost at home last week to Colorado, but.
Yeah, so again, the pack is just continuing to devour itself as they do each and every year. So I don't know. I don't expect we're going to see. I don't expect we'll see a pack team in the playoffs. I really don't. So there will have to be a major shakeup at this point, even this early in the season, for that to happen.
Yep, I agree.
So what else you want to talk about?
Let's see what else we can find here.
Let's
let's go ahead and get to this. So, yeah, Bama lost their first game.
Yeah, speaking of that Cal team, Ole Miss played Cal early in the season in a nail-biter of a game that Ole Miss fans claimed that they had a real legit shot of winning when they had their touchdown taken away from them at the end of the game. So, again, this wasn't a horrible Ole Miss team. We've kind of gotten used to that since Freeze was fired at Ole Miss, that, it was going to be a slow rebuilding process, but – Ole Miss is slowly but surely getting some life back in their program. Bama gave up 476 yards to them, and that also is an indicator of Alabama's defense issues, that they've had a lot of injuries and a lot of green, fresh young fellas out there defending the ball. So
could cost Alabama. I think at Auburn for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alabama can score enough at home against LSU to beat LSU. Shannon Russell.
The important thing is we're still going to beat Tennessee, so that's.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not. As long as we beat Tennessee and at least have a good shot against a really, really much improved Auburn team this year. Holy shit! At the game yesterday against Mississippi State, I cannot believe that's the same Auburn program that we've been making fun of in the offseason. Gus is actually coaching like he really wants to.
I never made fun of them. Those bastards.
Anyway.
So Shannon Russell, you need to come celebrate with us. Bama gave up 476 yards to Ole Miss.
500 yards.
And got exposed and still claimed the number one spot.
Incredible.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's a good thing to get to later.
All right, so here's your top 10 teams in action.
What about Ohio State there and that ass whipping they put on Old Frost? Frosty
I don't want to say that I really hate.
Is Nebraska really that bad? 48-7 bad?
I think that Ohio State may be the best team in the country.
You're probably right. They certainly are playing the part.
And I think they should have jumped to number one. Left Alabama at 2, put Clemson at 3, and maybe
and this early in the season, none of that really
it really doesn't.
It really doesn't. It's just a bunch of metrics that they can use a little bit later on when we start splitting hairs and determining who the best 4 teams in the country are. But right now, I think all 4 of those teams, Alabama, Clemson, OSU, and Oklahoma, to me, anyways, are pretty interchangeable. You have explosive offenses. And again, I'm negating this Clemson North Carolina game just because Clemson does this every year.
They do.
And
they didn't lose.
Yeah.
So maybe this is going to be their one hiccup, and it still resulted.
And
in
again, North Carolina may be a lot better than that. Lost to App State.
They've definitely got the potential.
That happens. It really does, especially for a team that is preparing for a conference rivalry with the number 1 team in the nation and overlooking a little piddly team like App State. And you and I both know that you can never, ever, ever, ever overlook App State, ever.
Has Oklahoma, are they playing better defense now? It seems like they might
apparently, but we're also talking about Texas Tech. I don't know.
Texas Tech
Oklahoma's quietly slipped into the top 40 in total defense, which is something we haven't seen from Oklahoma in in ages.
Right. Even it don't matter who they're playing.
Maybe, I'm not going to take a damn thing away from Lincoln Riley. That man is a phenomenal head coach. I think primarily because of the way he develops quarterbacks. Again, we talked about this on the last show. How many times has it ever happened for a head coach of a program?
Never. Are you going to say three Heismans in a row?
Well, how about 2 Heismans in a row with
That's
two
happened.
different players?
Army did it
Oh, well, how long ago was that?
in the 40s.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nowhere in the
I mean,
modern.
we were the kids at the time.
Yeah, I mean that's like when the Heisman first started. First was being awarded. Was the Heisman even when was the first Heisman awarded?
I believe it was in the 30s.
Yeah. So I mean, that's. But in the modern era, that's just completely. Especially the way that recruiting is done now. You have transfer portals, which, to be fair, has also benefited Lincoln. But transfer portal quarterback doesn't necessarily guarantee you success. He's doing something, developing those quarterbacks that are turning them into absolute studs. Because the Jalen Hurts that I've been watching in highlight reels this year, I've never seen that guy before.
No.
He's a fucking monster.
No,
have you watched him throw? Have you watched him fucking throw?
I have.
When have you ever seen Jalen Hurts throw like that on a consistent basis?
Well,
Now, look, to be
you
fair-
wouldn't see that at Alabama because Alabama don't run that system.
Well,
Alabama-
not only that, but I mean, Oklahoma. Let's give them credit. They have they always have year in and year out a tremendous O line, and that makes a huge difference when you want to create a little bit of time and space for your quarterback to do his thing.
Yep.
You know.
So Wisconsin, they struggle with Northwestern. This is a team I'm really watching right now because
Because OSU and Wisconsin are going to be facing each other.
and I don't have
in October.
I don't have the score on here, but Penn State handled.
Oh
Maryland.
my God!
Yeah, but I think Maryland really is.
Maryland's
trash.
cooked. They really are trash, and I cannot stress this enough. I apologize for getting everybody even remotely interested in Maryland for a half a second. They came out to open the season just both guns blazing, and then.
Do we need to circle Wisconsin on Ohio State's schedule? Of course, they're playing Wisconsin soon, and Penn State.
Yeah, it's coming up in a month.
Right, Penn State too. I mean, I think those are your two. If those, nobody's going to beat them outside of those two teams.
And as great as Wisconsin has played as of late, we'll just kind of not talk about yesterday's game. Because Northwestern is always one of those weird ass teams that just can come out and disrupt. Hey, it happens. We see it so often where you have because I don't know who Wisconsin's playing us. I think they've got Michigan State soon. So this may have been just one of those situations where again you had a team that was kind of looking a little bit past their schedule and didn't realize that Northwestern actually came to play some ball.
Florida.
I think they were better than 9 points, 9-point difference.
Oh yeah, sure,
Yeah,
but they just
flat
probably a
performance.
little hungover. Florida took on the mighty Towson, whatever they're called.
Yeah. Did they play like the whole entire second string this game, or did?
Who? Florida?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. Not a
Did
second.
Felipe Franks come out in a chair and throw a few
He probably could.
throw a few passes?
He could have thrown from a wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably can.
Notre Dame hungover, still pulled the game off against a decent Virginia team.
Yeah, that was a big win for them. I think it was a very quiet, understated win.
And I didn't throw a graphic in for this, but Duke went to Virginia Tech, and I know Virginia Tech is down, but when's the last time they lost by 35? And what was the score? 45-10. They lost by 35 at home. 1974 is the last time that somebody went to Virginia Tech and beat them by 35 points.
Wow.
Let me tell
You're
you
only
something.
bringing this up because Duke faced Alabama earlier this year,
Right.
and there was a lot of people talking smack about
Right.
that matchup.
And I put a thing up about it, and all these people now had Duke just done this and not played Alabama. If I'd have put that up, I would have got all these hearts and yes, fucking Duke, yeah, man, they're looking really good. But
Go Blue Devils, yeah.
Instead, everybody comes in, oh, man, they're still not very good and everything. I'm like, okay, well, Virginia Tech's not very good is what they were saying. Well, what is a team that's decent supposed to do to a shitty team?
Yeah.
Beat them by 35 in their own stadium.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
So Duke is better than people Just admit it, people. Duke is better than we thought. Are they gonna? Are they
Are
gonna
these
win
one of
10
those? Are these one of these hairs that we're going to split at the end of the year when
No.
we talk about Alabama's playoff?
Are they going to
hopes?
win? Are they going to win 10 games? Probably not. But 7 or 8 is not out of the question.
Duke has maintained a respectable program here, and they're again off and on. Every once in a while, will show up at the bottom of the top 25 or eke out 8 or 9 wins. I mean,
Here's some other games of interest that I wanted to talk about.
Hawaii.
Oh my God!
That was and that was actually showed up in the pick'ems, and the whole entire country, myself included,
And me.
picked Nevada because
Well, they were at home. Nevada's a decent team. Who the hell would have thought that Hawaii could go to Nevada and beat them 54-3?
Does Tua have any little brothers left in Hawaii that are throwing for them?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh,
Damn
sorry.
sure looked like it.
There is a graphic for the 45 to 10.
45 to 10. Yeah.
Kentucky, stick a fork in them. They're done.
Yeah, we need to talk about that for a minute because we devoted quite a bit of screen time in the offseason to Kentucky with our hopes that maybe this was, a new chapter in the era of Kentucky football.
Yep.
That's kind of a shitty South Carolina team that beat them 24-7 yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just don't. I don't know what to say, and I'm not going to say anything.
I don't know. I don't want to count UK out yet, but I don't know. They've had a couple rather nasty looking losses.
Texas A&M. They won a battle with the worst SEC team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
31-27.
Yeah. Texas A&M is in danger of really truly being exposed again. And that was that.
It's coming
that would
soon.
have been a massive shock if Arkansas, as bad as I hate to kick Arkansas when they're down, but they're definitely in a rebuilding phase.
Rebuilding my ass. San
perpetual.
Jose State came over and handled them in Arkansas, and that was a 2-win team last year.
Yeah.
The Les Miles watch.
Man,
Oh, that was painful.
I watched a little bit of this yesterday, and it was Kansas hadn't even scored yet, and I think TCU was already up by over 40. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, again, we're talking about easily one of the worst teams in the country with Kansas. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm pulling for less, man. I'm pulling for less on this one.
All right, so we got these surprise teams here. We've got Hawaii. I believe they are 4-1. I believe the Temple Owls are 3-1. Baylor is 4-0.
Fucking Baylor is 4-0. I'm still just in shock by that, and I'm even doubly in shock over the next one, Wake Forest.
They're 5-0.
Wow. SMU
5-0, I believe. Wow. Or and Minnesota is also 5-0.
Yeah, that M is not for Maryland.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I don't think there'll be any upheaval with any of these teams. Of course, the Wake Forest Clemson matchup looks a lot sexier this year than previous.
All right, here's your new top 25, your new AP top 25. Alabama takes the top spot. Wish they fucking wouldn't have, but they did.
Yeah.
Clemson
can have it back if they want it. Or Georgia. Georgia, you can come get it, guys.
I think Ohio State needs it.
Yeah, I think they do. Ohio State is looking more and more and more as we go down the stretch like the best team in the country at the moment.
The best team in the country could be Auburn, Wisconsin. It's just right now, because of the perception before the beginning of the year, Ohio State being one of the top 5 teams, the way they've looked the best out of the top 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
But Wisconsin could meet up with them, and we might change our fucking minds.
Why is UCF number 18?
Well, see, I'm an AP voter, and I made them 19. So
God damn it! You weren't supposed to vote for them at all. We talked about this.
I know. Wake Forest at 5-0, 22. Apparently, they haven't played anybody yet. I don't know if they're.
Look at little brother over there, number 21. Oklahoma State. They had a big win over the weekend.
Oklahoma prefers to call them little sister.
Well, whatever.
All right, so yeah, Penn State still hanging out at 12th. Did not get a bump, really, from the.
It's good
from the Maryland game.
It's good to not see Michigan in the top 10 anymore. I feel like I have a little bit more faith in the AP voters now.
The Herm Edwards and his Arizona State Sun Devils at 20th.
Wow.
Mm.
Do you think that's more about love for Herm, or was that everything to do with the big win yesterday?
I don't know. Man, we're fixing to call Sky in the station, but before we do that, let's go ahead and do this shit real quick. Let's see. Man, let's just do that. No, not him.
What are
Hold
you doing
on.
over here?
You know I'm doing it. So let's go ahead and fade over, and we're going to call Clemson the fourth biggest loser of the week. By winning, they dropped to number 2. Really, they won.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're right. That's why I can't put them any higher than the fourth.
Yeah.
But the perception definitely changed. Whether you call that bad or good, I think it's good.
If Clemson continues to win out, then they will never make this list again because they'll march right back into the playoffs. And if you look at their schedule, there's nothing to really indicate that there's going to be, except for maybe the aforementioned Wake Forest, which they should be able to handle quite easily. Should be able to handle quite easy.
How about them Cornhuskers?
Oh, Scott Frost. Boy, they laid an egg against Ohio State this weekend, and I'm still having a hard time believing that this Nebraska team is that fucking bad that they're going to lose by 41 to Ohio. But it is what it is. I mean, the score, I think the score speaks a lot louder than anything else does in their program right now. It's still going to be a rebuilding phase for them, I think, for quite some time.
I agree, and I hate to keep throwing this guy on this list here, but Helton takes another hit.
I actually picked him to win over the weekend.
Too.
I don't know why I did that. That was one of the dumbest picks I made this weekend, hands down.
And since we're talking about the pack, let's just go ahead and throw both of these in here. Let's just go ahead and talk about. Let's make the number 1 the pack. Underlined with the Washington State debacle, and
does Washington State rebound? I mean, I'm not saying that their season's completely over, but I mean, is there any way that they can rebound and reach a New Year's Six bowl?
Well, they've got 2 losses now. Probably not.
Yeah.
Well,
and that sucks too because they came into that game, if I remember correctly, with the number 1 passing offense in the country. And
that's a true story.
And that didn't work out so hot for him.
Well, I'm going to call Sky Anastasian. He's
yeah, I guess this could be our hashtag family drama section.
It could. It's going to be a short section, though. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see if I can get this guy on the phone. He's a little bent out of shape about his Hitler his Hitler mustache.
Yeah, he posted something in group the other day that was about the climate change, the little climate change girl that popped up at the UN.
See, I didn't even know who the girl was.
Yeah,
I just thought it was Hitler's daughter or something. It looked a lot like Hitler.
Yeah. She actually looked kind of cute with that mustache, but at the same time, that mustache isn't cute anymore. It's like completely. I don't know. Can you unironically wear a Hitler mustache?
I think that
cool
I think it
somehow?
looks pretty good on Sky. Right
Sky
now.
really does need to go with that look. He needs to. He also needs to go with. Is his hair normally that dark?
Sure. No, that's the mustache came with the hair too, so I had to throw it all in there.
Okay. Well, I mean, but that was a really good look for him, though. I mean, seriously. If they ever make a movie about Hitler, he could play a young Hitler.
He probably could. Okay, so I'm contacting Sky Anastasian, and it just keeps saying contacting.
Well,
so
I don't know. Maybe he's on the phone with us already. Sky, are you there? He missed our call. He is unreachable. You think he's gone to bed already?
Do you want me to be Sky?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this shit. Hold on. Okay, no.
All right, and we welcome to the podcast Sky Anastasian. Sky.
Whoever pulled is a pussy. Pulled the post.
Dick.
Yeah. This is why I like Discord, because political shit doesn't get anything zucked. You wouldn't get zucked on Discord because that's not a zuck production there.
Yeah.
That's something
He
else.
did post up kind of a girl with like a Hitler mustache. I don't know. Zuck is so weird these days as far as what Zuck wants.
Well, like I told, by the way, Sky, since you're not here, maybe you can hear this on the podcast. Shannon pulled your post.
I was the one that pulled.
He
it.
wasn't picking on. He wasn't picking on Sky. There's actually a truth to this: is that Hitler imagery gets zucked, and right now,
hey, anything to do with hate speech, anything to do with racism, Facebook has been extremely this year in particular, extremely I guess, dedicated to eliminating the racism from the Facebook, which I think is a good thing. Racism's stupid. It's 2019. I don't know why anybody wants to be backwards and ignorant anymore. But that was the reason it got pulled. It was kind of a knee-jerk decision, so whatever. This segment was going to be a lot funnier when we did the big reveal.
Yeah.
And I told him that, Sky, I am your father.
When we planned this, we planned it with Sky actually being on here.
But since because, I already had kind of a shtick prepared as well too, because Sky and myself have we have history. There's history there.
Yeah.
And
Sky cannot be an admin in Family Smack.
Yeah, listeners of this show will know that Sky had actually taken over Mike Gibbs' group, Infinity Sports. I think it was Infinity Sports Zero or whatever, because various Zucks had changed the name of that group. Mm-hmm. There was about 2,000 members there, and Sky and Jared, I think it was more Sky than it was Jared, but Jared kind of tagged along. And Jared Rifkin, Vanderbilt fan extraordinary. That's one we need to get on the show sometime.
Well,
I like him. He's a good kid.
I'll book him up soon.
Yeah, he's a big country fan.
Country music?
And new country.
Yeah,
there's not much you can do about that. But no, Sky and Jared unwittingly or wittingly, it's difficult.
I mean, you know Mike Gibbs. Who knows how that really went down from?
I know. I know there was another backstory there, but Mike was Mike's group. Mike had started and created the group. He had got some Facebook troubles of his own. Wound up throwing the creator status or whatever, however you do it, to Sky to take care of while he was straightening his Facebook drama out. So Sky immediately removed his admin status and took the group over. Problem is that I was still an admin of the group, and Sky, through a little bit of a power play, he had reduced my role to mod when I had the slightest little bit to say about what had happened to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So he modded me, it was a little bit of a power play, and then he logged off Facebook and went to bed. When he got up the next morning, there was like 16 people left in the group.
And they were all admins.
Everybody was booted and blocked except for the admins and mods, because you can't do that when you're a mod. But if you're a mod of a group, and this is for all of the people out there in the shitty Facebook group that they're considering getting rid of, you can actually take down the group as a mod. You don't have to be an admin to do it.
So
you can't completely eliminate it, but if you boot and block everybody, then what that person has to do, the people that are left have to go friend and add those people back in order to.
So I want to throw this out there. I said that Sky could not be a admin or a mod in Family Smack. Nothing against Sky. I have no problem with Sky. I don't know anything. I don't really know that much about Sky. Sky seems like a decent guy.
Sky's actually a good guy. We've had him on the show a couple times.
Just can't take a chance with the way it went down before. I mean, Sky could just get up one night and say, "I'm gonna go get my fucking revenge."
I'm gonna get my revenge. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
All right, guys. So we'll see y'all Thursday. I don't know what I think we're going to be.
No. I'm not done with Sky yet. I mean, this was a whole thing. I mean, you can't just cut me out of what I had prepared emotionally all day for this.
Come on, hurry up.
Let me just condense it down. Sky, go fuck yourself. That's a show.